Here, everything revolves around horses. At Newmarket in England, horses have right of way. The fastest and most expensive racehorses do their morning workout here every day. A good horse is worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Betting on horses creates billions in revenue. Worldwide, a whole industry has grown up around racehorses. Racehorses can reach up to 60 kilometers an hour. Luca Cumani, former jockey, has already trained many champions. Racehorses are high-performance athletes, and people are well aware that this is no longer natural.
Even if we tried to breed a race of racehorses genetically over 200 years, they would still remain horses. And in the wild, they're not used to doing the kind of things we ask of them here.
In fact, horses in the wild cover only short distances at speed. This is when they are fleeing from something. Speed, alertness, and quick responses are necessary for survival. The wild horses near Dülmen in northern Germany were first mentioned in a document in the 14th century. For more than 150 years, they have lived on a nature reserve. The herd is made up of mares and their families. The nature reserve on which the Dülmener wild horses live is owned by the Duke of Croy.
In
Westphalia or northern Germany, there were several hunting grounds until the 18th century, but they were all lost. This is certainly connected with the fact that it wasn't possible to farm much of the land, and people and horses lived like all wild animals, in competition with each other for what land there was. And the soil here was so wet that it couldn't be farmed until the 20th century. In the 19th century, my great-great-great-grandfather fenced in the last surviving horses and created a nature reserve for them, which has been preserved until today. Today we have a herd of nearly 400 horses.
In the wild, horses are dependent on the other members of their herd because only they can guarantee safety, mutual grooming, and foraging. Horses have one of the most sophisticated social systems in the animal kingdom. Keeping them alone is against their nature and causes mental disorders. The Dülmener wild horses move throughout the day and only eat small amounts of grass at a time, which is just right for the digestive system of a horse. Horses used for recreation frequently stand in the stable all day long. Nevertheless, they get power feed, which is only necessary for horses that work several hours a day. Horses, too, get sick from overfeeding. The Dülmener wild horses live a long time, and there are mares which have foals even at 30. Fertility is high. It has been found that the foaling rate, the percentage of covered mares that are pregnant and give birth to healthy foals, is almost 100%. In the wild, stallions are constantly together with the mares during breeding time. They take time to woo the mares and cover only those who are really in heat, with the active participation of other family members. An increase in fertility is an existential question for certain breeds of horse.
Hello, Nigel.
Hi, Fred.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Good, good. Bit of a hot
Improving by
day.
the minute.
Improving by the minute.
Fred Barrelet, Swiss vet in Newmarket, not only treats racehorses but also campaigns for the preservation of the Suffolk Punch, an old endangered breed of horse that was once widespread.
I need to have a chat soon.
Nigel Oakley and his wife are breeders.
The route, because they want me to go and have a look.
Die Stute wurde vor 16, 17 Tagen im Natursprung von einem
The mare was covered naturally by a Suffolk Punch stallion 17 days ago, and now we want to know if she's pregnant or not. I first feel the uterus with my hands, and now I can examine the whole reproductive system with the ultrasound machine and hope that I will find a pregnancy, a small bubble that should be in the womb.
Und hoffe, dass ich dann eine Trächtigkeit, ein kleines Bläschen dann finde, das in der Gebärmutter sich befinden sollte. Es gibt nur noch
There are only 450 such horses. About 20 foals are born each year, which of course is not really enough for the preservation of the breed. And unfortunately, I have bad news again. I can't find anything, so the mare didn't conceive, and we'll have to start all over again in the next breeding season.
Wir werden in der nächsten Decksaison wieder von vorne anfangen müssen. After all of that, no, I'm sad. I'm afraid she's not in foal, which is a great shame. I was a bit more hopeful this time because as I put my hand in, she felt good. It's a pity.
In former times, horses of this race, which has existed since the 16th century or earlier, were highly appreciated as workhorses. Today, the horses are used in historical films, but otherwise no longer fulfill any function. And without a function, survival is difficult.
They are seriously endangered. When you think the Bengal tiger or whatever, there's something like 3,000 breeding pairs, but there's only 480 total pedigree Suffolks. It is quite a serious plight.
With each extinction of a race, a piece of natural diversity is lost. A success story, however, is the salvation of the original wild horse, the Przewalski. It has a common ancestor with the domestic horse. The last wild animal was spotted 40 years ago. Przewalski were bred in certain zoos and reintroduced into the wild in Mongolia. Ewald Isenbügel, a great connoisseur of the history of the horse, has followed the reintroduction project. Today there are about 2,000 animals worldwide. Some of them live in the Langenberg Zoo near Zurich. Przewalski horses have all the characteristics of wild animals, as an experiment by Ewald Isenbügel shows. When he goes down on all fours, the group runs away.
Pferde haben im Erbgedächtnis die Angst.
Horses retain a fear in their genetic memory of quadruped predators, about the size of a human, a bear or wolf, for example. So they run away. And then when they're at a safe distance, they turn around, face the potential enemy, as they're doing now, and see what's happening.
Und sobald der Quadruped,
And as soon as the quadruped, which I imitated, moves again, they run away again. And once it stands still, they check the situation again.
das sind alles Elemente,
These are all elements that we now have to take into account in riding as well.
berücksichtigen muss. Man muss dem Pferd
So you have to give young
jungen
horses the
Pferden
opportunity to explore unknown situations in peace, to gain security, and not maneuver them with the whip and spurs and the rider's will,
mit
because then they will always react in the same way.
daran vorbei manövrieren. Denn dann wird sich das immer wiederholen.
As soon as they have the time to realize something is harmless, the next time it may no longer be problematic.
Dann klappt das vielleicht beim nächsten Mal.
It is a long way from wild horses to English thoroughbred racehorses, which have had a monument erected in their honour, like the stallion Hyperion, a popular idol. In the Jockey Club at Newmarket, racehorses are immortalised in paintings. This is Eclipse, invincible champion and father of many racing horses, whose hoof King William IV had set in gold. Racehorses remain in business for at least 2 years. If they win a lot of prizes, even longer. These active years leave their mark on the horses. It is positive that they are always together with others of their kind.
Sono cavalli che vanno trattati come cavalli, bisogna mantenere la loro identità di cavallo.
They are horses and should be treated accordingly and keep their identity as a horse. They should not become people, but remain horses. We must leave them their instinct and make use of it to turn them into natural athletes.
After a morning of hard work, the athletes can be normal horses again, for a short time, because the next day a new workout is on the program, or maybe even a big race.